Hello and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the OnFest 2013 Kalu OP and the Dark Passions team, currently 1-1 in its best of 3 series, could very easily, well, this is the last game regardless. I mean, there's nowhere to go from here. At least one of these teams will indeed win. I am Pulse and I'm joined by Metas.
Hey Pulse and hello ice cream truck.
Of course, I mean, naturally.
Best timing EU. Just, shows up as you do the intro. But regardless, we do have the band champions coming out here. And again, it's going to be identical bands from Dark Passage. Do not blame them in the slightest. I don't think there's anything that would have scared them about the previous composition from Kalu. OP, because it simply didn't really pay off for them. Yes, they got a good early start, but after that it just fell to pieces. This is the first time that Shen's not been banned and it instantly gets locked in from Zika.
Indeed, so what did we see last time banned out from Dark Passage? It was Malphite, Zed and Evelyn. Oh, that's the same bit. It's the same bands. Also, Corki will be open, Corki comes out, and Shen, as you mentioned. In return, we have the Lee Sin coming out. Seems like it's going ping-ponging between these teams. Fabfab picks up the Zyra, which will be going to the support player Froth, and also the Caitlyn. So very generic picks so far, nothing out of the ordinary, things that definitely make sense. We'll see if Kalu is OP, can pull out something that'll work this time. I mean, last time we did see Kalu kind of kill his teammates on several occasions, so maybe he'll be taking a champion where he can't kind of do that as much.
Yeah, and this is similar picks to game number 2, actually, from Kalu OP. They took the Lee Sin, the other way around, where Riost is now taking the Lee Sin, which he also took in game number 1. Caitlyn has also been picked up alongside Corki, so a lot of similar picks coming up here. Zyra again, Sona potentially again. So it's quite interesting to see how the champions shift between sides here, and potentially Elise. So I'm just curious to see how this game's going to play off. Are Kalu going to go hyper-aggressive again? Because we talked about this in the break as well, Pulse. We both feel that they had a really good start, and then they just threw the game away by these small incremental mistakes.
Indeed, and Elise has been seen as a lot of junglers nowadays to be one of the junglers who kind of does Lee Sin's job, but scales better. Very good early game, can duel most junglers, and in late game, she actually has a pretty sizable amount of damage. Likes to go for like Sork Boots, Haunting Guys, and pure tank. And by having the magic penetration, that's all she really needs, because her damages are all based off a percentage. So she'll always be relevant no matter what stage in the game she's at. Meanwhile, it looks like we have Orianna and Vladimir. Hasn't quite been locked in just yet, but we saw Fabulous on Vladimir yesterday and did very well indeed.
He certainly did, and it wouldn't surprise me if that gets locked in. Whether it'll be Orianna or not is yet to be seen. It is going to be locked in, so it looks as though it will indeed be the Orianna and Vladimir coming in here. So, interesting stuff. Last pick now for Kalu OP. I'm going to assume it's going to be their mid laner. I would expect to see Elise in jungle, Shen at top lane, but still yet to be seen.
Yeah, I feel like Fabulous on Vladimir is very appropriate, because the new Vladimir pose for the splash art is kind of fabulous.
I've got nothing.
Okay, so it looks like the last pickup will be Lysandra, and they've locked it in. Okay, so Lysandra, going to be in the mid lane. I'm going to assume that the Elise pickup will be in the jungle. It could also be Shen, and then have like Elise mid, and then something janky. But it does indeed look like Elise would be in the jungle, and then Lysandra mid. Mostly seen at the top lane, but can also go into the mid lane as well. Doesn't really fear Orianna as a threat to lane against, so kind of makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it certainly does. And Pulse, with about 30 seconds to go, I think we're going for a very quick commercial break. Is that correct?
We are indeed.
Right, so we'll see you just after this, guys. Should only be about a minute to 2 minutes. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, for the final time today, this is Chaos TV's live coverage of the OnFest Bulgarian LAN grand finale between Dark Passage and Kalu OP. If you have just joined us, it currently resides at a 1-1, Kalu OP winning the first game, Dark Passage winning the second, and now we are joining the Rift for game number 3. I'm joined by Pulse. I'm really looking forward to this game.
Indeed, and it is the final game. It can't go any further, and the first game went very heavily into the favour of Kalu OP. The second game, honestly, in the early game, they were so far ahead, I didn't think there was any way that they were going to lose, but Dark Passage pulled it back. And now into the third and final game, we'll see if they can replicate the great success in the first game. But again, Dark Passage have a team that scales very, very well. Double AP in the mid game, they'll inevitably be stronger, but Shen, great scaling as well. In this level 1, Riosta lands a nice Q on to Inksy. Will they carry on with this invade? It's a very aggressive, but they have a very good level 1.
Yeah, instant pings coming out here from Dark Passage just saying, okay, they're coming into our red, so we'll just go to theirs and try and even this one up. However, there is a ward down here. So again, we see this kind of back and forth between the two teams at potential invades that never really pay off in terms of buffs or first blood. So yeah, Holy Thoth is going to be going back, and alongside that are Kalu OP. So no early first bloods. Just wanted to talk, now that we've got a bit of a lull in the action here, Pulse, about the good and bad from last game. Now, I feel Kalu OP, they're definitely ahead. What would you say they need to improve on here? Because they made a couple of plays that really put them behind. Zeka's actually coming head-to-head with Fabulous, but I don't see a great deal happening from this.
I would say consistency, because their biggest problem in the first game is they got ahead with plays, but then continued to make plays even when it wasn't working out. They kept doing it over and over and over again, and then eventually they just dropped because they got into a bad rut, and they took a downward spiral. And I feel like if they do, it's kind of a combo thing. If they keep up the combo, they just get stronger and stronger, but as soon as it's kind of like the combo breaker, as soon as you get that down, they just crumble.
Yeah, they definitely, like we said it in game number 2, they're kind of a momentum-based side. If they start going behind, it just snowballs out of control. Interesting as well, the supports have switched around. Last time it was Corki Zyra lane up against a Caitlyn Sona. So just adding this one into the mix. Here comes Holy Thoth from the side. Going to be chugging through his Biscuit there and getting his health and mana back up. But this is what I'm talking about. Caitlyn's going to constantly spam, but you do have the Sona. Once they hit level 2, you could be trying to make some plays, and Sailor's actually been ignited and auto attack from the plant. That should be first blood going down. Indeed it will be to Zyra, and it's just a case of being far too overextended from Corki's perspective. That made no sense.
That was very slick though mechanically, and they followed up way past where you would expect them to still be within like lethal range, purely because Caitlyn's 650 range. Zyra is actually very long range for a support anyway, but it just caught them with their pants down. They just didn't expect it, especially when you have Sona Corki, probably one of the biggest burst lanes. But in the top lane, Kalu coming from the backside, Fabulous immediately with the ghost. Flash comes down, burns both of his summoners, but he gets himself out of the dodge. The minions are dropping him incredibly low. He's got to be careful, and will back off and cancels the aggression. Meanwhile, in the bot lane, Shim still very low, and they're just being a little too aggressive.
It surprises me, Pulse, because normally in the finals of any game, in the all-important matchup as well, in the third decisive game, people don't seem to make mistakes by being overextended. It's normally the opposite way around, where they go into their shell and they become very passive because so much is on the line. These guys are in front of an audience right now, and they're playing in the Bulgarian LAN for 5,000 euros. I would not expect Sena to be caught out from being too far ahead. I would just expect him to be playing passive. So, kind of a head scratcher for me.
Indeed, and again another gank comes in for Riosta, but this is the first time we've seen Dark Passage ahead against Kalu as OP. Every single time we saw Kalu as OP ahead from the start. And if they're losing, then I feel that it's only ever going to get worse, because Kalu, we see them very good in the early game. In fact, another gank comes on to Inksy, but Kalu for the good counter gank, at least enough to ward him away. But this could be nasty. I mean, if they lose with like an 8k advantage, then what are their chances when they're already 1k behind?
Yeah, that's very, very true. But if Kalu OP can have a similar performance to that first matchup that we saw, where they were slick, where they were not making really any mistakes, but here comes Naro actually, he's been caught from the Ring of Frost, meanwhile Kalu from the side, can he land that Cocoon? Can we see some big plays? Spiderling goes in, so it's going to explode, Cocoon will be landing, Naro's going very low, but in the meantime actually, Riosta's chasing after the other mid laner, the Tempest and the Cripple go down, Ring of Frost once again, it's not looking good for Inksy, he has to survive another 3 seconds, and the Glacial Path will be up, but he's not going to manage to pull it off, and Riosta will claim that kill. So frustrating from Inksy's perspective, because the Glacial Path had just come off cooldown as he died.
Yeah, Riosta can just walk on out of there. They can't really contain him in the top lane. More aggression comes up from Shen, but even these top lanes are very difficult to kill one another because Shen has to whittle you down and has to come down to the burst. But in the mid lane, Kalu finds himself Naru. He will back off into the brush. He cuts the vision, but still following after. Riosta comes in. Will it be enough to keep him safe, though? So many members are dropping low right now from a Dark Passage. Kalu's still taking some hits from Riosta. Can he land the next Q? It's up in 2 seconds. He's still maintaining the chase. The Spiderlings are behind him. Connects it. Auto attacks command. Tempest. Cripple. Auto attack. Picks up the kill. Yeah,
really slick play from Riosta. And a bot lane, as you were speaking there, Corki claimed the kill on Zyra. And I honestly don't know what happened, because it almost seemed like Holy Thor blacked out. Or that he was like AFK for a couple seconds. He was stood in the middle of a minion wave, getting auto-attacked and ultimately dying from Corki for no conceivable reason. So I'm not sure. Maybe they're expecting to be a bit more powerful in lane than they actually are. But in giving that kill to Corki, it's going to do a bit to kind of even it back up at bot lane. Because obviously that first blood going down at bot was very detrimental to the side of Kalu.
Yeah, it's important mentioning that it went onto Holy Froth and not Phoenix. So now the AD carry with that is going to hurt them a lot more. Fabulous jumps into Sanguine Pool, takes some more hits, but probably okay in the long run. But yeah, in the bot lane now, Corki with the extra money, he could probably go back, buy the Phage, and that could really hurt them. It allows him to aggress onto them at any point in time. So whenever he feels like he can win an engagement or he's stronger, then Caitlyn can't get away from that.
Yeah, a lot of the reason why Corki's being picked up right now is the Triforce. And so in lane, early on, he is still very strong in terms of the Gatling gun and the Phosphorus Bomb being nice amounts of burst damage, but it's really when he starts to get the components of the Triforce, when the Phage is picked up, because of the constant movement increases that he'll get every time he auto-attacks, that's when he starts to excel. Meanwhile, actually in mid, the Ring of Frost and also the Frozen Tomb will come down, and Lee Sin will be caught. Riosta is the kind of player, he's very hit or miss in the aspect of, yes, he can make big plays, but sometimes he's just so over-aggressive, and he gets caught out of position and dies needlessly. That was the case there, dying for no reason.
Yeah, I feel that's true of both of these junglers. They're both hit and miss. They're very kind of dynamic in that sense, that at any time that like a play could disastrously go wrong or be amazing. In the top lane, Fabulous dropping it low once again against Zika. I'm not entirely sure why he continues to go for the trade. Even at this early game, Vladimir just can't trade very well.
Yeah, it needs to get some levels, needs to get some items behind him. 54 to 44, so not doing too bad in terms of the CS war. And we'll be taking down the Hextech Revolver here with the Phage. This is the power we're speaking about. Here comes Inksy from the backside with the teleport, however, and the Stand United as well. This is not looking good. And suddenly, Kalu OP pick up 2 kills unreplied to. And with this movement, are potentially going to be starting off the Dragon, as it will be a 5 versus 2 situation with Vladimir at top without the Summoner teleport. So this is, well, it should be a Dragon, unless Riosta can pull off an exquisite Dragon steal. He does have the mechanical skill to do so, but with the Q kind of running out of time, that is going to be a Dragon. So again, teleport paying out dividends. I think Pulse just disconnected, so I'm going to keep casting. If he does jump back in, I will bring him back into the cast, but meanwhile, Orianna firing off that ball. Ruben, can you just confirm if that was Pulse? Yeah, it was Pulse. Okay, so fingers crossed he'll be back on very shortly, ladies and gents. In fact, I think he has just reconnected. Hello, Pulse?
Hello?
Well, Shockwave goes down actually, and the Ignite as well, as Kalu is going to be firing up with the Repel. This should be a free kill right now for Naru, unless something goes amiss, and indeed it will be. Pulse, you back?
I am, but I'm not sure for how long. It's that damn ice cream truck, I swear.
Yeah, it's destroying your internet. I mean, it's just
Conspiracy.
OP. So are you lagging still, or are you back?
I just get disconnected. I had this yesterday, but I'm not entirely sure. But we should carry on regardless in the bot lane. Some Piltovers come out. If I do disconnect, feel free to take over.
Okay.
But,
we'll
yep.
do so. If you have any disconnections, then I'll just jump on in. But I assume that you are still here.
I am.
Okay, so all you really missed was the dragon getting picked up, and then after dragon got picked up, Elise got killed. But here we go, Shiver's been caught from the ace in the hole, and also the Strangled Thorns Crescendo went out. So Sainus is going to be able to do some nice damage, but Caitlyn is no pushover with the BF sword. So another free pickup here for Dark Passage.
Indeed, and they're just taking advantage after advantage. Now in the mid lane, Naru potentially on the point of getting taken down himself, and Lee Sin from the backside, Dragon Rage into the tower. Last tower shot will take it out. Jumps immediately onto Kalu. He's got the mechanics and lands another Q. The more auto attacks come out, and will it be enough? The red buff is sticking down, but that health pot in return keeps him alive.
That was really impressive play from Riosta to get the kill and then instantly, simultaneously jump back on Kalu. That was really, really nice. If he'd got that double kill, it would have been highlight reel worthy. But here comes the taunt from Zeka on Fabulous, who, as we mentioned before, just simply cannot stand here and trade because Zeka is so tanky, has the Giant's Belt and the Ruby Crystal. Even though he's 13 CS behind, he's putting down a lot of pain at the top.
Yeah, it kind of just solidifies what we were saying before, Metas. Both of these junglers are very hit and miss, but when they hit, they're amazing. And once again, Fab is just caught by Zika. Goes into Sanguine Pool, slows him out, Flash is burnt, and he's just being way too aggressive. He's out farming Shen, but he's utilizing all of his summoners and putting himself into a terrible position as a result.
Yeah, again, Riosta is going to be ganking in the mid, and you're getting some damage down, but yeah, there's so much raw potential for both of these junglers. If they could just refine a couple of those slight missteps when they get killed needlessly, they would be amazingly good. Again, Vladimir's flashing up red, forced to pop off the Ghost. Here comes the Ignite as well from Zeka. And needs to be very careful. He will, however, get back. So it just seems to me that every time Vladimir's summoner spells are up, they get burnt again.
Yeah, indeed. And Riosta finds himself caught by Kalu. Zeka's still in good HP. Fabulous, and he's not even sure if he wants to come back in. Dragon's Rage comes out. Repel comes straight down. Doesn't connect onto Riosta. Great timing on the ward jump. Meant that they didn't follow up, and no kills come down. But it gave Fabulous a little bit of time to get some of his HP back.
Yeah, that is one of the good things about Vladimir, and specifically taking the Hextech Revolver, is you're going to get Spell Vamp and then a Transfusion on top of that. So you will get your health back fairly quickly. Here comes the Hemo Plague and the Sanguine Pool as well. Do they have the damage? It looks likely as it's going to pop off. Indeed it will be. And actually, no assist coming in for Riosta, which is strange for me. I thought he actually safeguarded onto Vlad there.
Yeah, I thought that as well, but either way, he was taken down by the turret. I don't think his auto attacks did as much as he thought it was, and Vladimir didn't even attack it either. But 1-for-1 trade, 7-4, commanding lead to Dark Passage is something that Kalu could not come back from. But Kalu's OP are kind of feeling the pinch of not being ahead in the early game. And even when they are, as we said earlier, it didn't always go well. Flash Crescendo onto Holy Phoenix. The huge damage from Corki. Valkyrie comes after, flashes through the Strangle Thorns. Inxie now comes into the fray. Follows through with the Glacial Power. Picks up 2-for-0 trades. And looks like they want to go in for Dragon if it was there. But still another minute. At least they have the objective of bot lane tower if they choose to go for it. Riosta and the mid laners are there. And Vladimir has also come down.
Really nice mechanical play from Sena though, of Valkyrie and then flashing out a Strangle Thorns, and also the initial engage was just beautiful from Shim with the Crescendo, as you said. So really nice play. They get 2 kills, and now Corki is looking to smash down this tower. However, in the meantime, the mid and top towers have fallen, so 2-0 in terms of the tower war in favour of Dark Passage. They're starting to get some of that global presence along the map, and this is one of the key ways to stop Shen split pushing, force his towers down, and make it very difficult for him to get past the river.
Indeed, Fafaflis finds himself Kalu GG, will be backing off. He has the repel, just in case Inxie wants to go all in on him, but doesn't have... In fact, he did have the Frozen Tomb, but I guess he thought the potential to come out there was too strong from Vlad. Now, Riosta goes into the bot lane, finds himself Zika, and, well, kind of slaps him on the back and walks on off.
Yeah, he Dragon's Raged Corki, the Saner, back in towards his own team, but it seemed like Holy Phoenix and Holy Thoth were a bit kind of preoccupied with getting some of that farm down, so nothing really happened as a result. However, Zika did pop the stand United, so in that case it was a minor victory to them, getting rid of that ulti coming out from Shen. The Dragon is up in 3 seconds, and with Elise being at top lane, definitely not going to be opted for from Kalu OP for the next minute or so. The question is, however, are Dark Passage going to go for this themselves? They can see Elise's top. They know the Dragon has respawned. I can't help but feel this may be a slight misplay from Kalu OP.
Yeah, the person they committed and the person who can duel Vladimir also happens to be their jungler. That was interesting from Ryosta. Just back onto the Dragon, and Sena is still there. He's also there with Sona, but it will be taken by Lee Sin. Jumps over the wall. Holy Froth takes some hits, but again, nothing they can do without a smite.
Yeah, that all started from Ryosta, Dragon's Rage and Corki, which baited out the stand United, and therefore because Shen was at bot lane, Elise had to go ahead and cover top, or that tower would have fallen as well. So you could say it's not a misplay from Kalu OP, it's just a very kind of decisive play coming out from Ryosta. However, putting yourself in that position in the first place, when Dragon is up and you're vulnerable, is not necessarily the most intelligent of things to do. Regardless though, at the end of the day, that is going to be the second Dragon in this matchup going to Dark Passage. So that's 1 apiece in terms of Drakes. However, that's going to convert itself into a 3,000 gold lead for Dark Passage.
Despite being very serendipitous in the fact that it happened to be Elise in the top lane, they could have swapped Lissandra and Elise around, and knowing that Dragon was up, there's plays to be made, and it feels like Kalu's OP are a team that are playmakers. They're not that strong in decision making in comparison to Dark Passage, so if they're put into a position where they have to analyze the entire board, it takes them out of their comfort zone. They're stronger when they get into positions where they can make plays. They go into 5v5s, they can make interesting things happen. They're not good at kind of playing the slower game.
That is a very good point. You know, it's them kind of split-second decisions that really separate the great teams from the very good teams, as the case may be. But this tower is going to be falling, so that's 3-1 now on towers. Top lane is being pushed as well, so Shen's not really having any impact on this game other than the stand United. It's all well and good that he was trading okay with Vladimir, but now Vlad's starting to take a pretty commanding lead in terms of CS, and now because that top tower is pushed so hard, he can focus on the mid. So again, it seems to me that Kalu OP are well and truly on their back foot and playing into Dark Passage's strengths. However, mid lane, Nara has been caught out, Shockwave comes in, can he flash away? Yes he can, repel instantly afterwards, but here comes the Glacial Path, not going to be picking up the kill though. I thought that was an ironclad kill coming in on Naru, but to his credit, he manages to survive.
Yeah, in the mid lane, then the Spadling comes out, the Volatile Spadling, and Shen desperately needs a Sunfire Cape or a Wit's End. He's building towards it, but he needs it now because he can't push against anyone. Ward jump over the wall, fabulous, on the receiving end of some damage, and doesn't quite connect the taunt either. He's kind of in no man's land though. I don't think this is the place he wants to be at, as Ryosta lands a perfect Q onto him as well. But he needs pushing potential, because Vladimir can just go into top lane, go in there for 5 seconds, either wave, and just walks out again and is useful about the rest of the map. Shen, his life is at top lane, so if he can't push, and he can't push quickly, there's no point in having Shen.
Exactly. Have a quick gander at Oriana's farm here. Naru is really powerful, but here comes the Strangled Thorns and Stan United flashing back in, trying to get Shen flash and taunt on Holy Phoenix. However, he's not down. There we go. Finally, Sona will be claiming that kill. Glacial Path coming in from Inxi is going to be locking down the Vladimir, who instantly goes into the Sanguine Pool and flashes through. He is so slippery with the Ghost and Flash, but he should be falling. Not before the Hemo Plague lands. Here comes the Q as well. Hemo Plague should claim this kill. Indeed it will. Can Ryosta manage to survive this? He flashes through the wall, is going to be chased down from Corki, however, and in amongst all of that, it's going to be a 3-for-1 trade going into the hands of Kalu OP.
Now, it was pretty manly from Lee Sin, so he did gain man points from that trade, but it looks like Holy Froth, potentially caught out by Zika, looking to pick up one more kill, and I don't really see him getting out of this one. Still has the Shadow Dash, doesn't actually connect onto Holy Froth. He does have the ability to land the Grassy Roots and still has his Flash. Can he get out of this one? Shim's quite a long ways away. Caitlyn now coming in. Flash comes out. Zika is looking for Bloodbone. Misses the E though. Now underneath the turret, and Caitlyn's come back in. This could be the kill onto Sona. She's got nowhere to run. And now Holy Froth comes in from the side. So horribly backfired.
It did. I'm a bit curious as to why Holy Thought flashed towards the outer tower rather than the inner tower, though. It seemed a bit kind of dangerous to me, but obviously baited in Sona and Shen to keep chasing, allowing them to pick up that kill. But as I was saying before, Pauls, have a look at Oriana's farm. Nearly 240 after 19 minutes 50. That's really impressive.
That's quite a lot. I'm interested to know how much of those are actually minion kills, and meanwhile, okay, well, Lee Sin just went full Lee Syndrome and jumped under turret against 3 people. I don't know.
Never go full Lee Syndrome. You
never go full Lee Syndrome.
Yeah, hashtag. You can put that on Twitter, guys. We don't mind. But that's what we're talking about in a nutshell. Riosta has so much potential to make huge plays, but at the same time has the potential to go and jump off the edge of a cliff, and that's definitely the case that we just saw there. Free kill for absolutely no reason. I guess he was trying to pull off the insect maneuver and it just backfired horribly. Grasping Roots lands from Holy Thoth, however, here comes the Stranglethorns and the Ace in the Hole as well. Loads of damage. Is the Ignite going to take? Yes, it is! So they managed to get that free kill onto Elise.
This game is odd metas, and Glacial Path over the wall comes back into safety, but when you think a team is going to win, someone from the winning team does something crazy, and then it flips over to the team again. It's weird. I don't think I've ever casted a game like this before.
League of Throws. Like, that's kind of the summary of this game.
Yeah, League of Throws or League of being way too manly, I don't know. Like, there's throws in the sense that there's bad calls, and then there's bad calls that are so manly, you hesitate to call them bad calls.
Sorry, I'm kind of cracking up at the chat, because obviously the stream is maybe a tiny bit behind because of delay or whatever, and you just suddenly see like a million messages of ha ha ha, WTF Riosta, what are you doing? So it's always good to have a quick look at the chat. But regardless, Dragon is live once again, as you can see on the screen. Both teams starting to opt to potentially start this one off. Vladimir is going to be pushing top lane, so they're definitely going to be caught in 2 minds here, Kalu. Do we go for Drake? Do we stop Vladimir? They do have the potential to do both, because Stand United is available, Taunt coming through, so Fab's taking a bit of damage. It's 2 levels above, and here comes the fight. Actually, Naru's being caught out of position. He got the shockwave, and he manages to survive the great escape, and he baits out the full-on commitment from Elise. So that is a 1-for-0. Meanwhile, Vladimir is going to be taking that top tower. This has worked out so phenomenally well for Dark Passage, picking up the kill and the tower off the back of it.
Yeah, Holy Phoenix dropped to about maybe the same HP that Naru is it, and Karthus pleased, because if they'd picked up both of those kills, then 2 for 1 on Kalu, they would have loved that. And especially when it's on Naru, who is 266 farm, 2-0-2. He's doing most damage right now. We've got the Riosta from the side, looking for the insect, knocks him backwards. Huh? Not what he was looking for. Riosta!
I'm curious if he's doing this on purpose, just to, crack up the audience. Because they're here live, so maybe he's putting on a performance. I honestly don't know.
Maybe.
Maybe I'm just talking out my backside and he's legitimately making mistakes. But either way, it makes for an entertaining game. Really nice combination here. But it's been stopped as Vladimir jumps in the front. It was basically a teleport into Stand United. They pick up that first kill. Caitlyn is smashing down Lissandra though. Kaku comes in, will save the life of Inti, who must have been on about 15 hit points at the end of that one. So 2-for-0 trade now from Kalu OP. My god, you couldn't ask for a better finals matchup here. The best of 3 going to the 3rd game, and it's still anybody's.
Yeah, so close. Riosta, can he get the steal of the century? Do they have a smite? Yes, they do. On its way, in fact, on 8 legs. And Riosta looking for that steal. I mean, the ward is being chunked down. Lands the Q. Doesn't quite get it. Wasn't quite in time. And then able to jump back over the wall. And yeah, he does have the sightstone. But either way, that's a dragon going to Kalu's OP, which will give them a little bit of gold. Closing that gold differential just a little bit.
I can't help but keep hearing that Forrest Gump quote in my head, life's like a box of chocolates, because I think that aptly describes Riosta. You never know what you're going to get with him. He could fly in and make the biggest play you've ever seen, or at the same time he could fly in and face plant against the wall and get himself killed. It's just, you're on the edge of your seat with anticipation at brilliance or complete... I'm not going to say the word I was going to say, but you know where it was going.
Indeed, and I think everyone can fill in the blanks in that one, but... It's Metas, I never really get a game, I don't think many casters do, where you have a game where you're like, okay, well, we have to analyze the team fight because they have a strong foot line or they have very good burst, but I don't think it comes down to that. I think it's down to, will their plays work out, or will they kick a slicing Maelstrom cannon into their backline? Like, you just don't know.
Will you effectively kill your own Caitlyn?
Yeah.
People in chat say we're not being nice to Riosta. We're saying he's an amazingly talented player, but I don't think anybody can argue with the fact that he's been on either side of the spectrum. He's made amazing plays, and then he's just towered over 5 players and died for no reason. I don't think that can really be up for debate. That being said, though, he's had a lot of presence in the game, and on top of that as well, to take it in a serious way, if he is jumping in like that, it keeps the opposition on their toes, because they never really know what's happening. Like, is Riosta going to go in? It's that kind of maverick mentality where when you're playing against him, you just don't know what to expect.
Yeah, it's not fiction, it's fact. These are the things he has been doing, and you've all seen it on your screens. So, again, Kalu OP, Kalu GG, as the case is. I think that's what he was called on the other server. But, again, they have weird playmakers. So, team fights, if we were to analyze it normally, we'd say both teams are in good positions. I would say that Dark Passage are ahead in the sense they'll probably have more damage, more burst, but at any point in time, I'm sure Lee Sin will just kick Inxie into their back line, so I don't know.
This farm from Oriana is ridiculous. 317, 26 minutes. He's just chugging along right now and picking up a hatful of items. Void Staff, Rabadon's Death Cap, Athene's and Holy Grail. That Shockwave is going to be hurting, and the Command Protect is going to be quite beefy on top of that. But look at Corki, 5-1 and 4. Last Whisper Triforce plus a Zhonya's Hourglass, so effectively 2 invulnerabilities if Inxie so chooses, and the Abyssal Scepter. So we're in that kind of point of the game where this is a powder keg ready to explode. Both teams have a lot of damage. That being said, though, with no outer towers on the battlefield, it's a long trek to Baron, and Dark Passage could pick this up for free. No one's really reacting to this from Kalu OP.
And look at the warding coverage as well. They essentially have the entire jungle warded around Baron, and it's been counter-warded, so they've choked them with vision. Kalu OP can't tell if they're going for Baron or not, and they've free-manned it very easily, and very quickly in fact, because Naru is so far ahead. His Clockwork Wind-Up is going to do a lot more damage than you kind of expected to. Now he's picked up the blue buff, so he's, well, just chugging along as you said, and he's a free item AP carry, and because AP items are additive, they're way more efficient in the middle game than they are like late game. So he's, as you said, going to do so much damage, and on paper, there's no way that you can deny that fact.
544 ability power at 27.5 minutes through the game. If he lands a full combo on Corki, Corki could get one-shotted, or he's going to be so low he can't play any further part in the team fight. He doesn't have any lifesteal, there's no Bloodthirst, there's no Vampiric Scepter. So if Corki gets chunked, he's going to be relying on his Valkyrie to escape, and then the Aria of Perseverance afterwards. The flash in here from Inxie after the Glacial Path. They saw the opportunity, and they're going to be jumping on it. That's exactly what I just said. If Oriana focuses Corki entirely, he's going to get blown up. So that turns out to be a 1-for-1 trade, where it probably had no right to be so.
And it chunked Kalu down to 50% HP. Had that been onto 3-4 people, they might have been able to go for a team fight after that, and it just shows that if Naru is with his team, he lands his Shockwave on to like 3 people, 4 people, and he's actually chained it into the rest of his team. There's no way that Kalu's OP can respond. It's just way too much damage. And that's where they're at. But they got the pick, and the flashing crescendo gets nuked down in a split second. Kalu drops low. Neurotoxin, sorry, the Heavy Plague comes out. Inxie will be good as went into the Zhonyas, but Zeke is forced to back off. He's got no damage behind him. Salna finally comes back from base. Riosta now comes in. He lands the kill onto a minion, picks up the kill onto Shen. He's got no front line. 4-for-0 trade. This might even be the game.
But what?
Yep.
Why did Sona do that? Why would you flash into crescendo one person and in doing so crush your entire team? I'm actually speechless. I don't know why that just happened.
Is it me, or is that Inhibitor on 184 HP?
It is.
The one that's dead.
Scumbag Inhib.
I don't get it.
Some spectator bugs. But still, I just don't get it at all. And that one mistake has actually cost Kalu OP the game more than likely. Second Nexus tower is falling right now. And after that, it's going to be the Nexus. Elise is trying to run away. Rampage coming in from Caitlyn. Should be getting this double kill. In fact, it's Vladimir. Can Inxi pull off a majestic defense here? Here comes a Frozen Tomb. Holy Phoenix will not be going down. Taunt from Shen. Lee Sin picks up that kill onto Lysandra. Saina now from the back lines. They could very well be defending off against this onslaught for now. Shutdown comes into effect. Valkyrie in. Don't play too aggressive though, Saina, or you could lose your team the game. Just play passive, and indeed they will lose the game. As a result of that, the Nexus will fall, and that's all off the back of a couple of moments ago when Sona flashed in. Again, I am still amazingly confused by that play.
Indeed, but Dark Passage pick up the tournament of OnFest 2013. Come out very dominant. They did very well against all the teams we've seen today, but I honestly felt Kalu was OP, had the chance to take that 2-0. Hell, they could have even taken it in the third game. Questionable plays, for sure, specifically the Sona one at the end. Again, my mind is boggled. I completely agree with you, Metas, and I don't know. I don't have any answers for you. I wish I did, but I don't.
So we got Lee Syndrome and now Sondrome, I guess?
Sondrome.
Sondrome. Crescendo. I apologize, guys. I know I'm coming off like I'm slating. I'm really not. But when something like that happens in a precious situation, I can't help but look at it and think why. Because she flashed into Crescendo and just hit Vladimir, which is opening up Caitlyn to get free damage. The Hemo play comes down because Sona flashed in front of the rest of her team. She's isolating herself, using a massive initiation tool, an AoE kind of CC control tool as well. And in doing so, you're effectively playing your team out of the team fight and leaving them vulnerable to counterattack, which is exactly what happened. So I can't really state or stress enough how much that was a misplay from Sona.
To me, it just felt like a team had a rocket launcher, and they could either shoot for 4 players, or they could shoot the squirrel. And they went for the squirrel.
And they missed the squirrel and hit the fence.
They missed the squirrel. Yeah.
Yeah, it's easy for us to say as casters, because these guys are in pressure situations. They're out of the LAN finals.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're playing for 5,000 euros. But still, all we can really do is cast what we see, Pulse. And Kalu OP... I think the main word that I'd use to describe them is potential. They have a lot of potential. I'm not sure if it's communication issues. I'm not sure if it's a shot calling issue. And I said this to you in the break as well when we weren't actually live. Maybe they have 2 shot callers and they're kind of talking over one another. Because a lot of these team fights, they seem to be caught in 2 minds of whether to go or stay. And in doing so, they do neither. And they get caught. And I feel that was a perfect example with the Sona engage, where maybe Sona decided, I'm going to engage this, but the rest of the team didn't know, because you could see from their reactions, they were quite a while behind her, and they couldn't get close. They couldn't capitalize on that crescendo and nuke Vladimir down. And that's exactly what they needed to do. In not doing that, you allowed him to get a free Hemo Plague on 4 players, and then clean up.
Yeah, but I think we're probably good. I think we've come to saturation when it comes to analysing the final game metas. So, at least from us, we will go to our social media plugin. But before we do that, bottom left-hand corner of your stream, if you're new to Chaos TV, because I know this is an event and a demographic we don't usually stream to, but we do the EUS Challenges series very frequently, along with many other events like DreamHack Bucharest. So if you're interested in watching our commentary, more high quality League of Legends action, then the bottom left hand corner of your screen will be to follow. All you have to do to stay up to date with all the action from Chaos TV. But Metas, where can they find you specifically on the internet?
Well, if you enjoyed the cast, then feel free to go to @MetasTV on Twitter or @MetasTV on Facebook as well. And yeah, as Paul said, please follow the stream. In terms of where they can find you, Pulse, where should they go?
I'll be twitter.com/impulsible. And facebook.com/watchyourpulse. I will also be doing another giveaway today and over the next couple of days until the end of September, so you've got a good 8 or 9 days until that comes to a conclusion. So there will be giveaways going on over there. If you follow me, like the post that I come out with and like the page, then you'll be in contention to win one of those. But until next time, guys, it's been a pleasure, and from myself and the rest of the Chaos TV team, we will wish you a good one and we will see you later.